Hello, my infidels. How y'all doing? Hey, I wanted to do one here really quick for you and everything. Want to let y'all know something extremely important. And I mean this. I mean extremely important. Dennis and I, we're not part of any militia. We're not part of any racist hate group. In fact, we can't stand any of that. Not so much the militia part. I mean, I do believe that every state should have a militia. I really honestly do. I mean, that's one of the reasons why that's hanging right there. But as for being a white supremacist, no, not even close. I nor Dennis are racist in the slightest little bit. Now, when I was younger, in my late teens and early 20s, used to joke around and say, I am not a racist because I hate everybody equally. But really, that was just a joke, and it wasn't absolutely true at all. I mean, I really do. I've always tried to be a kind, gentle person. I've tried to help people out my whole life. Past few years, I tried to help some people out, and I'm not kidding you. I got royally shafted, especially by two people. Last year, I had $6,000 stolen out of my safe because I trusted a guy I thought was my friend. And earlier this year, I had a brand new 12 gauge JTS AK style 12 gauge shotgun stolen from my house from one of my oldest friends. Over 30 years we've known each other, because I would not sell it to him because he's a felon. That's why. I was like, are you kidding me? No, I ain't going to sell you no gun. I said, you're not even supposed to have one. So Shelly and I happened to be out one day, and he had the key to the house because that's how much we trusted him, and he came in and he stole it. Now, I know this for an absolute fact because when the police caught up with him, guess what he had in his possession? My 12 gauge shotgun. By golly. So now he is sitting his butt in jail. But that's not what this is about. I have heard a lot of the N-word being spread around. Not by whites that I know, but by blacks I see on TV all the time and, on YouTube. Now, when I was 12 years old, I had said in my other video that we had moved out to the suburbs and my dad got himself a really, really good job. Sorry. Yes, bad habit. And it was at a paper company. They produced things for McDonald's. They made pages for dictionaries, covers, pictures. They did a lot of stuff for a lot of major companies in the United States. It was so big, in fact, it was the largest factory in the town next to us. The town was called Elk Grove Village. I mean, it took up literally like about 5 city blocks. It was so big. I mean, about 2 blocks deep and like 4 blocks long. So actually, about more than that. About eight city blocks. So anyways, like I said before, my father was raised in the South as a sharecropper. And my dad, I hate to say this, but he was racist. He used the N-word. He had absolutely nothing good whatsoever to say about Jewish people, Hispanics the same way. I'm serious. I mean, he was bad. He was very, very bad. So, being a young boy, I picked it up. I'll be the first to admit it that the N-word rolled out of my mouth in all kinds of terrible jokes and comments. I mean, you name it. Well, when I was 12, all that changed. And the reason being is, it was a Saturday, and I went with my dad to his work because they asked him to work a few hours doing some inventory stuff. So, I did. I used to get to ride around on this electric cart. My dad taught me how to drive a forklift, so I could play with a forklift and stuff when I was 12 years old. And I was talking with some of the older guys there, and every one of them was white, I'll admit it. And they were throwing around stuff, so I started telling jokes that I had heard from some of my own peers, and some of them were jokes about blacks using the N-word. Well, I felt a tap on my shoulder, and I turned around, and here was this extremely tall, older, much older, black gentleman standing there. I had seen him before. He was a custodian in the plant. He was working on this one Saturday. And in the picture in my mind, I have him, he was probably about 64, 65 years old. And this would have been right around 1968, if I remember correctly. Anyways, he said to me, son, he said, do you understand what that word is and what it means? And I looked at him and said, yeah. I said, you're a black guy, so you are a N-word. He said, son, let me tell you. He said, that word, he said, is a terrible word. It's a slur. He says, it's all about racism. He said, but here's an interesting thing that you know, and I want you to remember this the rest of your life. He says, the N-word is meant for all races. He says, not only are there black N-words, but there are white, there are Asian, there's Latino, there's German. He said, every single race has N-words. Every single race. And really, honestly, that was very profound for me, especially being at 12 years of age. And I started thinking about that, and then over the years, I come to realize this gentleman was 100% correct, because I have seen a ton of white people that fit that description. And the description, I haven't mentioned yet, I'm getting ready to say, is this. He said to me that an N is a human being that is totally worthless to himself as well as anyone else around him. How about that? A human being that's totally worthless to himself and to anyone around him. I was shocked, and like I say, over these past 53 years, I've come to realize that man was right. I have seen it in every single race I have ever met, and I have met over my years and my travels many different races. I have met some absolutely fantastic black people. I've met some trash. I've met some great white people. I've met some extremely ignorant trash white people. Same thing with Hispanics. Same thing with Asians. It's true, they're in every single race. So, just remember this, folks, okay? If you're going to use that word, and you use it on a daily basis, I don't care if you're white, I don't care if you're black, calling your friend that and you're allowed to do it. It doesn't matter. It makes you ignorant. It really honestly does. If you want that word to stop, stop using it. It's ridiculous. It really honestly is. So, that's my little rant for this evening. I love you all. I hope I made a point. I hope I made a good point. Okay? So my infidels, I love you. You take it easy. And I'll see you the next time.